Today's story is Abraham and the Three Strangers from Genesis 18. This is Abraham. He and his wife Sarah are very, very old. In fact, Abraham is nearly 100 years old. Both he and Sarah are friends of God. A long time before today's story took place, nearly 25 years earlier in fact, God had spoken to Abraham. "Abraham," said God one night, "can you count the stars in the sky?" "No," said Abraham, "there are so many." "Abraham," said God, "that's how many descendants I will give you. You will have so many great-grandchildren that no one will be able to count them." Abraham was confused. He and Sarah didn't even have one child, never mind thousands of great-grandchildren. But he believed that God would keep this promise. But as the years went by, still Sarah did not even have one baby. What should Abraham think? Had God forgotten his promise? Or maybe Abraham had imagined the whole thing. Or, now that Abraham and Sarah were so old, was it too hard for God to give them a baby? Anyway, fast forward 25 years, and here is Abraham sitting by his tent at the hottest time of the day. And what should happen? God himself appeared to Abraham. Abraham looked up and saw three men. He ran to meet them and bowed down before the Lord. "Come," Abraham said, "and stay a while. Let me fetch you something to drink while my wife Sarah and I prepare a good meal for you." "Quick, Sarah," called Abraham, "fetch the best food we have." "We accept," said the three men, and Abraham served them as they rested in the shade. Then they asked Abraham a question. "Where is your wife Sarah?" "She's in the tent," Abraham answered. One of them said, "In a year's time I will come back, and by then Sarah will have a son." Now Sarah heard what he said, and she laughed. "I'm far too old to have a baby now," she thought. Then God said to Abraham, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" "I will come back in a year," said God, "and you will have a baby son." And sure enough, less than a year later, even though it should have been impossible, old Sarah gave birth to a baby boy, and they named him Isaac. Abraham had waited 25 years, but God had kept his promise.